Oh my God, Bob the Wonder Dog was accepted at the 2014 Westminster Kennel Club show, so we were off to New York in February. Well, of course, we weren't off until we had a vehicle to get to Westminster in style. I called Mercedes-Benz and asked for a 2014 Sprinter 2500 passenger van because that is the dream dog kennel on wheels for dog show people everywhere. Our Sprinter came pretty loaded and comfortable for passengers. There were 12 seats and it worked out perfectly. Tim and I took the front 2 seats, which were of course adjustable and heated. The next row of 3 seats went to our handler Kelly Leonard and her luggage. Perfect. The third row, it was 3 seats also, was taken by Scott Allen, our videographer, and his luggage. And the last row was a 4-seater, which held Tim and my luggage, a bunch of bags, some of Bob's stuff, and it still left plenty of room behind it for Bob and his big kennel and all his junk. We arrived in New York with great relief. The bellman at the Hotel New Yorker was absolutely thrilled to see our 300 bags come pouring out of that van. I would say they were a little happier to see the dog in the front lobby and insisted he jump up and visit them. The next thing we had to do was figure out where you de-poop and de-pee the dog in the hotel, and that happened to be in the basement. You have to see this to believe it. Westminster is a bench show. That means the 191 breeds that are being shown are grouped together by breeds in their benching area before their competition. This allows the public to go and see any of the breeds they want to see in great mass. There were 100 breeds being shown on Monday and 91 breeds being shown on Tuesday. These 191 breeds range from one example of the Dandy Dinmont Terrier to the most popular breed here, the Labrador Retriever. There were 76 entries, and walking through the area right before the labs were shown was like, oh, I don't know, swimming with whales. Before it was Bob's turn to get in the ring, we walked through the grooming area. If you want a good laugh, walk through the grooming area at any dog show, if you can see through the cloud of hairspray. Before it's time to go, Kelly practices with Bob a little bit using bait. Hey, that looks suspiciously like last night's steak dinner from Sparks. I don't get nervous until about 30 minutes before it's time to get to the ring, and we have to move through the crowd and join all the other Chesapeakes that are milling around outside. I try not to look at them because those are all the top dogs in the country. Bob's number 8. And then they're all called in by number. All the dogs are usually asked to go around the ring with a little space between them so the judge can get just a quick look at all of them. He's looking at stride and reach, which means how the dog's paws move back and forth and how far they step beyond their nose when they're going around the ring. Then he asks them to all line up and he starts to examine one at a time. There are so many dogs here, 20, that he moves pretty quickly over Bob. He checks his head and his teeth. He checks his front. He checks how all his body parts go together, the top line, how the tail comes off the back, his stance, and then he reaches underneath and grabs him by the balls. Hey, wait! He didn't grab his balls. Okay, whatever. Then he asked the dog to walk away on a diagonal so he can see its rear, and he asked Kelly to come forward so he can see Bob's front. Bob's a little bit excited about the bait. This is not an endearing trait in any dog. When the judge is finished looking at every single dog, he asks them to all go around the ring again and he's going to make his first cut. From that group, he's going to pick his winners. This is when my heart is in my throat. And he picks Bob in the cut. He didn't get farther than that, but I have to tell you, there were some awesome dogs there, and I'm excited that he made the cut. It was a big deal. So it's all over by 1:30. We're back on the bench, and we actually like to leave Bob out of his kennel as much as possible so kids can come and look at him and people can pet him and ask us questions. And most dog owners are like that. They love their breed, and they love to talk about them. And I forgot to mention, Bob loves the attention. So then it's back to people watching, and they do not disappoint. But we have 5 hours to kill before we're allowed to leave. So Scott and I jump in a cab, go all the way across New York to Cha-Cha's house of ill repute. And Cha-Cha does not disappoint either. I can see a Cha-Cha hat in my future. Oh yes, and I think we'll be back during the New York Auto Show. We get back from Cha-Cha's just in time to help pack everything up and hit the road for home.